How's it going, Fidget community? This is the Fidget Professor here with another review, and today is going to be a comparison video of the MOT Skybreaker and the T-Conceal version from Amazon. So first, let's start with the MOT. So my version is the stainless steel. Very good heft to it. It's got a good amount of weight. It's not heavy in the sense of, oh my god, this is painful. It's got the kind of weight that says, hey, I'm here, just letting you know. Both of these are mechanical sliders. That is one thing I will say that T-Conceal did do with this particular fidget. If you remember from my video a couple of weeks ago with the chainsword comparison video, the version that T-Conceal made is a magnetic or haptic slider versus the mechanical slider that the chainsword is. So T-Conceal, they did keep both of these as a mechanical slider. I'll put this up to my earbuds so you can hear the wonderful sound. It's very relaxing, especially if you are like me and you have to have something to do with your hands. The quality overall is significant. Being that it is stainless steel, I do believe mine is the stainless steel version. Being that it is stainless steel, obviously it's going to last. You don't have to worry about rust or anything or metal breaking down. And that goes for the sword as well, which has got that nice, real pretty sheen over the warning. I really like the way that MOT did this one. This is the button mechanism that you use to release it. So it's just a simple button that goes bloop, and there's your sword. But now let's look at the T-Conceal version. And until I had this one, I didn't think this one would be bad. And now that I have that one, I have some complaints. So aside from the fact that it is not stainless steel, it is a zinc alloy, meaning that it will break down over time. There are a few conundrums with this one that I do have, and I even had these before I got this one. I thought this was like a similar issue with this, and it's not. So the first issue with this one is its button is a little off kilter, and you have to push it in a certain spot to make it release it, because as you see, the button does not fully depress like it should. Another issue is that the clasping mechanism in the sheath does not hold this sword as well as it should. So let's say just from this short distance, I drop it. Okay, that's a very, we're talking not even a full 6 inches is how far I held this up off the table. This one, if I do that same distance, you see how the sword pops out. The mechanics inside this are not that are not that great, as you can see. And I mean, there's nothing that I can really do about that because I'm not the one that created this. Now, obviously, the saying goes, you get what you paid for. I paid, granted used, off of TRB Creation. I got this for about $130, roughly. This is about $30 on Amazon. Now, I do not fault T-Conceal because, you know, they're doing something that on some level I can appreciate. They are taking fidgets that people may not be able to afford, and they're making versions that people can, like the haptic sword or this one. But I think where the issue becomes is the lack of quality. So metal aside, the internals like as you saw, I just barely even tapped it and it shot the sword out. To me, this is not a sustainable fidget, because any sudden movements or pressure, whatever, should not do that. And just to show you what I'm talking about. See, there you go. Like I said, I don't entirely fault T-Conceal, because, as I said, they are doing something that makes it to where, to some degree, people can feel like part of the fidget community. But I do think that their lack of quality is an issue. Plus, not to mention, they are copying other creators' designs. I think that's also another issue that a lot of people do have with a lot of these knockoff companies. It's the fact that they are creating similar looking products, as you see, with very few differences. These look obviously the same. It's just that this one's a hair smaller. Just a hair. One other thing you will notice if you ever get either of these is the weight difference. This one is this one's heavier than this one. I don't know the exact weight of either one, but you can definitely tell, God forsaken. But you can definitely feel the difference in your hand when you have these in your hand. This one has a little more heft than what this one does. Plus, as you've seen, this one stays in its sheath a whole lot better. It's not just going to randomly pop out like that. Honestly, I would say for anybody that is looking to get the Skybreaker, definitely look at secondhand EDC stores. So basically like TRB Creations. Yes, you are going to have to look thoroughly, because a lot of what you'll see on there, at least what I've run into, is you will find a lot of you will find a lot of the more expensive ones that people have decided, oh, I don't want this anymore and I want to sell it, and yada yada. I got lucky and found this one because I don't necessarily need a special edition per se. I just want the fidget itself. And in this instance, like I said, I got lucky and found this. If you have to go the more cost-effective, this isn't a bad one. But I would say definitely look into taking this apart. The difference between these is this uses just a Phillips head. This just uses a Phillips head screw, whereas this has that 6-point Torx screw that you use. I will never take this apart. This is fine perfectly as it is. This one needs work. But here again, I'm not going to completely, entirely fault T-Conceal for doing what they do. I hate that they're doing it because it is taking money away from MOT, who could, or even from like TRB Creation, who, could be getting the money for an actual creation versus something that I believe may be die-casted. I do apologize if I'm rambling, but yeah, I definitely put your money towards this. This will last you a lot longer than what this one will. So, anyway, that's going to be the end of this video. And next week, I will be doing a video on several different fidgets that I have received from a friend of mine. So, until then, have a good one, my fidgeters.